In times of crisis, Nebraska ranchers step up to the plate to help their neighbors in need. It's midday. Time for Top Ag News on the Rural Radio Network. I'm Steve White. Alex Makovica reports.
Late on Friday, Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen signed an executive order to speed relief to ranchers affected by wildfires wreaking havoc in Kansas and Oklahoma. The measure temporarily eases transportation rules, ultimately allowing for larger loads of hay, feed, and fencing to reach areas hit the hardest. Matthew Melcher is Director of State Government Affairs with Nebraska Cattlemen.
Both Kansas and Oklahoma's governors have loosened restrictions temporarily on trucking load sizes for hay. So if you're driving through Kansas and Oklahoma, they can be up to 12 feet wide and 14.5 feet tall.
Preliminary reports show the fires have destroyed more than 300,000 acres of pasture in southwest Kansas and northwest Oklahoma. While officials haven't released complete livestock loss numbers, the impact to cattle herds is expected to be significant. Nebraska Cattlemen is coordinating collection efforts for hay, feed, and ranching supplies. The donations can be dropped off at the Saunders County Fairgrounds in Wahoo or at Lashley Land and Recreational Brokers in North Platte. The deadline for those contributions is Friday, March 6th. But if you have any questions about donating to one of those sites or coordinating your own transportation, you can just contact the Nebraska Cattlemen for more information.
Thanks for that, Alex. Those dry conditions and warmer temperatures are increasing the grass fire risk across Nebraska as well. Ben Bohall from the Nebraska Forest Service talks about the risk for grass and range fires, especially as low humidity and gusty winds persist through the state.
Since we haven't gotten enough snow over the winter, everything dries out really quickly. And the issue for us is that creates very dangerous situations for a wildfire to occur.
Bohall recently told us they have abandoned the concept of fire seasons, as fire is now present 12 months out of the year in Nebraska. This winter has been open and dry across much of Nebraska, and according to the Drought Monitor, many areas are seeing their droughts intensify. We're just a few weeks away from another growing season, and who knows how much moisture lies ahead. So how do you limit the forage problems drought could cause? Jerry Fileski, Nebraska Extension Range and Forage System Specialist, explains.
For starters, prepare a strategy for using any remaining hay. One of the better options is to feed hay a bit longer into the spring before turning cows out to permanent pasture. I know this action is exactly opposite of my usual recommendation to graze more and feed less hay, but allowing pastures to accumulate a bit more growth before grazing begins will provide more total grazable forage if drought prevents much regrowth later on.
And you can find more from Nebraska Extension's Beef Watch. Finally today, 3 separate earthquakes were reported in Webster County in south central Nebraska on Sunday. The epicenter was near Cowles, but felt as far away as Omaha. While shaking was felt over a wide area, there was no significant damage or injuries. Residents did report hearing and feeling that quake. The quakes were in rural areas. No reports of any impacts on livestock. You can find the full report about that on our website, ruralradionetwork.com, where you can also check out our podcast page. You're listening to the Rural Radio Network.